So for this deep dive, we're jumping into episode 4 of The Grand Fled Jury. And it opens with this line that, it just sets this incredibly unsettling tone. Deliberation is where noise goes to die.
It's so atmospheric, right away. You expect a courtroom drama to be loud.
Exactly. You expect the gavel banging, the shouting, the objections, but this script just strips all of that away. There's no music, no background hum.
It's just this heavy room tone, and the narrator describes it as the sound of everything that was almost said finally finding space.
It's a full silence, not an empty one.
Mm-hmm. And it forces you to focus on the language, which is where things get really interesting.
Yeah, because the jury foreperson says something completely unexpected right at the start. They say, this court does not seek punishment.
Because, and this is the key, punishment ends conversations.
And their whole point is that the conversation stopped way too soon.
Right. In our system, the goal is always closure, right? Put a period at the end of the sentence. But they're not interested in that. They're interested in something they call witness.
I found that concept of witness a little tricky at first. The script describes the jurors speaking as timestamps.
Yeah, it's not really testimony in the traditional sense.
No, one person just says, I waited 3 years for a reply. Another one says, I was told nothing at all.
Think of it like a receipt. An accusation is like a bill. It's a demand for payment. But these timestamps are just the receipts. They're just proof that they were there, that this thing happened and that no one answered.
It's validation, not a transaction.
Exactly.
And understanding that makes the exchange between Harold and Marjorie hit so much harder.
Oh, yeah. Because Harold pulls out the classic defense.
The ultimate excuse. I didn't know.
It's safe, it's comfortable, but Marjorie just dismantles it.
She doesn't even call him a liar. She just says, you could have known. That's the difference.
And that could is just devastating. It does all the work. It's not about what was in his head. It's about his choice not to look.
It shifts guilt from intent to capacity.
The capacity to know. It's the difference between being blind and just squeezing your eyes shut. You see that all the time with, say, corporate negligence. You can't claim ignorance if it was your job to know.
Right. And the script says he sinks in his chair, not defeated, but exposed.
Finally seen.
And as soon as that truth lands, that responsibility can't stay buried, the whole building starts to react physically.
It goes from philosophical to totally surreal. The foreperson says that if the system can't carry the responsibility,
The system must change shape.
and then it does. The walls creak, the hallways realign.
It's such a wild image, these locked doors just swinging open. But
Yeah.
it makes a kind of metaphorical sense,
How so?
Like if you think of the system as a dam that's built to hold a certain amount of water, and the truth is the water. If the water level rises way beyond the dam's capacity,
It has to break. It can't just overflow.
it has to break. The structure itself has to change. The procedure can't contain the reality of the harm anymore, so the procedure has to break.
Structural change over just following the rules. I like that.
Which brings us to that ending, or the non-ending. The prosecutor wants the verdict. He wants it to be over.
He wants that period at the end of the sentence.
But the foreperson says no. They say, unfinished things do not end, they transfer.
A verdict would end the energy of it all. It would let everyone off the hook. But they're saying the energy is still there. You can't just resolve trauma with a gavel.
Speaking of the gavel, that final image it's just haunting. It's lifted into the air.
And it just hangs there. It never strikes.
It denies us that satisfaction, that closure. It forces everyone in the room and us, reading it, to just sit with that tension.
The responsibility hasn't been destroyed or resolved. It's just moving.
And that's the final, maybe the most unsettling thought. If it transfers, if it flows out of that room, where does it go?
It implies that justice isn't a destination you arrive at. It's more like a weight you have to pick up.
And once you've heard this story, maybe that weight transfers, in some small way, to you.
It definitely makes you wonder what you're carrying when you walk away.